I'm glad to have you along with us. It is a Monday, and it's time for us to welcome in founder and CEO of Vibrant U Hyperbaric Oxygen, Stephanie Parrish. Stephanie, good morning.
Good morning, Mike. So happy to be here on this beautiful, snowy President's Day
Every once in a
St.
while,
George, Utah.
you do wake up and go, what happened to St. George, huh?
Good thing I'm from Idaho, or I wouldn't know what this stuff is.
That's right. Yeah, I assured everybody it's okay. It's happened before,
It's
folks.
happened before. It will probably happen again.
It probably
Beautiful,
will.
though, isn't it?
Yes, I love it. I do. As long as, see, the roads you can still pass, we're good.
We're good.
We're
And the
good.
white against the red rocks is amazing.
There you go. Hey, good to have you in again.
It's good to be here. Thank you so much.
You bet. I see you have some guests. We'll be introducing those in just a moment.
Absolutely excited about it.
All right. Well, let's jump right into it, Stephanie. What is going on? What's the fun thing we're going to talk about today?
Oh, I've been so excited. All month we've been talking about brain trauma and heal the brain, and how everything is so important to get that brain healed first. Heal the brain, heal the brain, heal the brain, and then the rest of the body will follow suit. So that's what we have been focusing on this month, and we have got some very special guests. I've just gotten to know these guys and love them, love them, love them. And we've got Jonah and Tom Tuttle with us today. And we have known, when did you come in? About 2 months ago almost? It's probably been pretty close to that, Jonah, right?
Yeah, it's been 2 or 3 months. I can't remember.
Okay, it's just he's part of the family, so he stands at the front and talks to everybody, and we just enjoy him. And he told me he
Perfect,
wants
yeah.
to start working for me one of these days, so we're hoping to bring him on. So I would love to have you guys listen to his story. A lot of you have followed him in the paper and on the news, and I'm going to have him tell his story and what brought him into us, and then we'll talk a little bit about what's been happening since they've been coming in. And his dad Tom is here with him, and I'm sure he's got a whole different side of the story being the parent.
Probably, yeah. Thanks, Stephanie.
So, Jonah, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit, and then we'll let your dad chime in as well.
Honestly, it was just a long nap. I was asleep for a long
long
time,
nap.
so it was really dark. I don't really have very much memory of it. All I know is that I was longboarding down Snow Canyon State Park, and I was told that I had to have been going 45 to 50 miles an hour, and I broke my left ankle and broke my skull in 7 places, and woke up a few months later really confused at what happened to me.
Maybe this is a perfect time for your dad to chime in and tell a little bit more.
Jonah's always been a good napper, but that's not what it was. It was not in a nap. Jonah was in a coma for quite some time, and they had to take part of his frontal lobe brain and a little bit of his brain around the brain stem. Just scary, terrible ordeal for all of us. And the doctors were not too optimistic about his recovery, but we believed different, and felt that we were told different, and just expected different. And Jonah, during this ordeal of being out, or his nap for a few months, it was terrible. But my wife, Heather, who just considers Jonah her baby, and always will consider Jonah her baby, she just spent hours and hours and hours researching and what would help Jonah with his recovery, and what works and what doesn't, and spent so much time and some resources trying to figure this out. And it wasn't until maybe 2.5 months ago that she found Hyperbaric, and there was a doctor in the South that was charging 10 times what we found you in your Vibrant Youth to charge. And it was just awesome, because we were trying to figure out how we could come up with 40 grand to get to the South and have Jonah go through this regimen of getting into the Hyperbaric twice a day and getting him healed, because the evidence is empirical that it works. The Hyperbaric works for healing the brain. And so I'm figuring out with my business, how do I generate more income, and how are we going to make this work, because we have to live there for the time that this is going to work. So a good friend of mine came to me and he says, "Hey, I just heard this ad on the radio, Vibrant U in St. George, Hyperbaric." And he wrote down the information and gave it to me. I handed it to my wife, and she called and set it up, and it's history from there. The results have been unbelievable. It's myself, my 2 daughters, Jonah, my father-in-law, have all been in hyperbaric. But Jonah's recovery has been incredible since beginning.
Why don't we start right there? That's awesome. I mean, I know people would like to know a little bit more. Before we move on, though, is there a site for people to go on? I know that, are they still following you? Is there still a site that's out there that they're
I think it's inactive right now. It is Just Wake Up Jonah is what they search and find him. But we're going to come up with another one that says Jonah Just Woke Up.
I love it. I love it. Well, we're going to be posting on our blog and our website and everything, so, whatever we can link that into. So I would love, Tom, maybe we can start with you, and you can tell us what you've noticed with Jonah, and then we'll go to Jonah, and he can tell us a little bit. Because, again, it's a little different perspective, right?
It sure is. He was knocked out for most of it, and still trying to wake up, but he has been awakened. When he was first coming out of his coma, now there are different levels to coma, and he really struggled, and it was so hard for us because we know that Jonah before, and our expectations, and just the struggle with us, and knowing how outgoing and fun and athletic that he has been, it's been difficult, and the difficulties with Jonah in his head. He has terrible headaches, and he's incapable, or has been, of doing certain simple things, just bending over and tying his shoes, and writing papers, and studying and retaining what he has studied. And since Hyperbaric, it has truly been a miracle. He after the first couple of sessions, he came and he says, "You'll never believe it, but I have been able to bend over, tie my shoes, and stand up without having a throbbing headache." And that it's
we take that for granted, don't we?
Right? Yeah.
Every day, just those of us that haven't gone through that don't understand the miracle that is.
Even having been by Jonah's side during this, it was hard for me to grasp.
Right.
And when he said, because we forget, I forget that he's in such pain all the time. And he says, I no longer have these headaches when I stand up. And I was like, holy cow. So he has eliminated that. He hasn't been able to sleep on his back. And since beginning Hyperbaric, he was sleeping on his back. Oh. Studying and retaining. Jonah, having part of your brain removed is unbelievable. And he wanted to jump right back into school and get his degree in psychology and start sharing what he knows. And as parents, we'll support him, but we weren't expecting much. and he's struggled for the first semester. He's about to get his associates now. And this semester, so cool. And we attribute a great deal of this to Hyperbaric. We attribute it to God. Exactly. But we attribute a great deal of this to Hyperbaric and the path that we've been on for him and his healing. Since he started this, he is retaining what he's studying. He's taking statistics. Wow. And he's remembering and doing well in his studies and his tests and his quizzes and things. It's incredible what the change that we have seen. It's just incredible.
Cool. And thank you, Tom, for bringing the part of God in there, because it is so true.
Yeah.
Anybody that listens to my radio show, they know that I pray every day that God will bring people to me that need the services that not I don't offer. I just am the facilitator, right? I know that God put me here, taught me, gave me the tools so that I can do this for people. And I pray every day that the Lord will bring the people to me that need to be here.
That's awesome.
And here you guys are.
And that was our prayer too, to find something that works and will help with Jonah's healing and our healing.
Exactly. And it's every, people forget about the caregivers. We tell them all the time, so I'm grateful that you're in there when you get around to getting in there. And the other family members that was just a little jab there, by the way. He's so fetching busy. I do it to Mike, too.
Thanks, Mike. We'll talk after.
All right.
Okay, you two, calm down. Anyway, the caregivers, it's so important for the caregivers to get the care as well. I mean, the stress and the trials, and that's why I say it's a different perspective from parent as it is from child, or from client as it is from caregiver. And it's just vital. It's vital to have that caregiver get the care as well.
It truly
because
is.
you go through so much stress, just different type of stress, but so much stress. So thank you for bringing that up. So Jonah, we'd love to hear your take on everything, what you can remember, and he's delightful. I'm sure you know. Some people don't know he used to play rugby for Dixie College, and that was what you were doing when you had that, or Dixie University, sorry, when you had the accident, right? He's quite the athlete.
He was captain of the national championship team. What a great group of guys. What a great team.
Wow. And I saw in the newspaper clippings that they all stayed the night in the hospital and just kind of...
multiple nights. We were getting in trouble
yeah,
at the hospital.
Too many people in the hospital.
The whole team was always there, sleeping and praying and singing and just loving Jonah.
So what an amazing following, and I'm so grateful that we're able to be just a little part of that. So thank you for letting us be a little part of that. So Jonah, tell us kind of what's been happening with you since you started doing the Hyperbaric with us.
Well, like this morning, I was able to wake up early and I ran a mile, and I got everything done. But it's been really helpful for me because I've been able to do that again, whereas before I couldn't. Like with laying flat on my back or on my face would give me a headache. This is the same with running. And so since Hyperbaric, I've been able to run again and been able to accomplish anything that I wanted to, and it's been really nice.
That's so cool. Well, how's the relationship with your family changed through all this?
I can remember more.
Some of it maybe you don't want it. No, I'm kidding.